and welcome to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. I'm Joe Youngblood, and here at Parks and Rec in the News, we'll keep our residents updated with all the latest happenings and special events right here in our wonderful Shelby Township. Today we have a special guest with us today, Michael Ward. Michael Ward is a Shelby resident. Mike, thanks for being on the show today. We really appreciate you being on here. And we wanted to set the stage with Michael. A lot of people you see running out in Shelby Township. We have a lot of trail systems here. And Michael Ward's an avid runner. You may see him out there. He does a lot of good for the community, and specifically the Go for the Gold. So Mike, first of all, how did you get into running?
I guess as a junior high student, it was something I could do. I was always the littlest kid around, so football wasn't in my future at all. I knew that, and a bunch of my friends were runners, so it was 50 years ago I started running. I've been running for 50 years, nonstop, so it's been a lot of fun.
Now, Mike, I mentioned the Go for the Gold. I know you're involved with many different races in the community, some through Parks and Rec and some different avenues. But the one we have coming up is the Go for the Gold, and if you could just touch on that. First of all, where's this being held at, and what is the date of this run?
Okay. It's going to be Saturday, July 19th. The race starts at 9. We'll have pre-registration in the morning prior to that. And we're hoping to have a package pickup the day before at Hanson's. We're going to finalize that. And make sure that that's a good, good for everybody as well. It's off the 22-mile entrance to Riverbends where you'd want to come in, and it's a beautiful run. We have a 5K run and a walk, and we have a 10K run, and then we have a series of kids runs, longer kids runs and shorter distance runs as well. Then we have one for the Special Olympian kids as well, and all the kids get a medal, which is kind of nice, and then all the overall age winners in each group also receive a medal.
So it sounds like there's, depending on the level of the runner, there's a different race for anyone who wants to sign up.
It's exactly what we did. We started it, this started 10 years ago. Interesting history. A guy by the name of Trent Briney, many people in the running community know him. He was one of the Brooks Hansen running guys, and he was our alternate for the 2004 Olympics. Trent got involved with Jean Lambert from the Special Olympics, as you know well, and I worked very closely with her. And they got me involved. And little did I realize 10 years later, here I am. We're in our 10th anniversary.
10th anniversary.
Yeah,
already.
This will be our 10th year. And I'm proud we estimated 12,000 last year. We have up and down years, but I did a little calculation, and I've calculated that somewhere in the area, we've probably raised $75,000 to $80,000 over the last 10 years.
That's amazing.
And you get to benefit with the kids here, which is what makes me feel really good.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, Mike, here at Shelby Township Parks and Rec, we take a group of athletes to the Summer Olympics and Winter Olympics. So this race right here is one of the biggest fundraisers. It is the biggest fundraiser that we're involved with. So Jean Lambert from the Special Olympics office is always thrilled about the work you do, and we're just happy to be a part of it because it's a direct benefit to all of our special needs athletes right here in Shelby Township. Gives them the opportunity to get the weekend away in Mount Pleasant or in Traverse City for the Winter Olympics. So we really appreciate all you do for that, Mike. And if I wanted to register, and some of the people out here are interested, what's the best way to do it? Is it by, I see we have a flyer here. Can they do this online or over the phone?
A couple different ways as we do with all of our races. There's active.com. You just go to www.active.com, put the Go for the Gold, and it'll pop up amongst the many different races in the area. You can go to www.goforthegoldraces.com, or if you want to contact Jean directly, you can call her at 248-688-9603. And sign up that way. Of course, you can do it the day before. Looks like we'll be all set at Hanson's. I'll finalize that, or the day of as well. And it's $20 for the fee, and then it's $25 of the day of the race itself. You do get a shirt, you get your water and drinks and your bagels and all your other stuff as well as part of the big package too.
Now, Mike, I know a race like this is a huge undertaking, and I know you're a business owner here in Shelby Township. How do you have the time, and also kind of walk us through some of the background as how do you organize something like this large? I mean, it's quite an undertaking.
It is. I've been doing this for starting 10 years ago, and in the last 3 or 4 years, I've teamed up with Jean Lambert and a good friend of mine, Joe Burns, that many people know. We're like the core running directors group, and we've been involved in a lot of these races, and you just learn the ins and outs and things. And I've been able to work, for example, with Jean, and more of the nitty-gritty details she's able to handle for me because I travel a lot for work. But then the overall stuff through contacts and stuff, a lot of it is just establishing good lines of communication with different people, getting good sponsors, which I'll mention in a minute. We'll get into that as well, and just getting the word out in general. And through our running community, we're able to do that. We have a new group called the Race Directors Association for Macomb County. It's an offshoot from the Mount Clemens races that were done in the spring, And Bob Busquard and Hanson's are involved now, and I'm a regular participant in that. We all get together for all the different groups and all the different races, and we help each other out. And they're going to be doing something new this year that anybody that runs this race, along with I believe 2 or 3 other races, gets a free entry to a race late fall they're going to do out in Sterling Heights to get a nice shirt along with it. Promoting fitness, promoting getting involved, but we all help each other and helps all of our races, get bigger numbers. And the big thing right now is everybody wants to know, what race can I do this week? Every single week. I still see the same people dropping in different races.
And that's what I was going to ask you too, Mike, is there's so many runs out there, but to go for the gold, you have a huge following. But how do you get the runners to come out? Because you open a newspaper and you see runs everywhere. So yeah, what's something that you do different that you feel that you're drawing such a large number of racers?
Well, first of all, this year it'll be between 600 and 700. We've gotten to be very significant from the first year of like 50 people.
Yeah.
But number one, through the mailings from the previous year. Okay. But one of the things that people have learned when they attend a race that I'm involved with, or Gene, or Joe Burns, our collective group, our Veterans Run, our Christmas Run, Jingle Bell Run, and so on, we make it a really fun event. It's not just a run. You come in, you run, and you leave.
Okay.
We have a DJ, we have a lot of entertainment going on, we have different sponsors that come out with different things they're promoting to help people save money on fitness for whether they want to attend a health club or do different kind of things. We provide drinks, we provide food and things like that. And
so it's like a nice family atmosphere.
Exactly right. Yeah. And we provide, the fact that we give people the ability to walk it and now time them. That's unique, not too many do that. I had a couple people that were a little frustrated a couple years ago from the winter run and said, but we want to be timed. Well, there's a big cost associated with having a time, a little thing on a little electronic tag on the back of your number. And we'd rather that extra money, if we don't have to spend it, go towards Special Olympics or the race cause. So now we give the walkers an opportunity. They can be timed. They can see their name show up on the runmichigan.com site, see what their results were and so on. And they might win a medal. You just never know as well. Something else we're doing that also draws is we, like many of them, we do give the overall awards for overall male and female. We do the Masters category 40 and over, but we're doing something new, and a suggestion came from Norm Killiap, one of our senior resident runners who's in his 70s and is just going strong. Great guy for all of us. He said, what about a 60 and over? We never qualify because the 40 and over, there's too many studs, he said, in the 40 plus group. So we have a 60 and over category this year. They'll get a trophy and a certificate and all the associated prizes. So there'll be 3 major groups. And then you can still get a first, second, third medal in your age group as well, and then all the kids as well. Combination of all those things continually bring the people back. And they know we have a good, well-organized race. Unfortunately, the weather, can't do much with the weather part of it.
No, you
can't.
But
we get it, and people love to come out because they know when we put on a race, they're going to have a lot of fun.
All right. Now, you mentioned $20 prior to the race to register, and along with that shirt you're wearing, that's the type of shirt that they'll be getting with that. So,
yes.
I mean, that alone for $20, a nice shirt like that, and you get this race, you really can't beat the price.
No, a lot of the races are starting to bump it up. We wanted to keep it more reasonable, and if you have a large family and things are a little bit tight, we can work certain discounts for families if that's necessary, if they approach us.
Sure.
And part of the reason we have the flexibility, I always like to mention the major sponsors. I have 2 or 3 again this year. Number one, Kohl's. A lot of people don't realize, but Kohl's, if they commit 5 resources to an event, and they do charity work, they'll make a substantial donation. Well, we have 4 Kohl's stores coming out this time.
Really?
We're really proud. So that's going to bring in some
nice,
extra money.
Nice to have the sponsors.
Yeah, we have Anytime Fitness, and then one of our local people here that work for the township, Stan Grout, who's been supporting it 3-4 years, is now the headline sponsor. He wanted to say, I want to do a little more for the race. I said, hey, that's great. So we have him. We have our Anytime Fitness on 22. We have Kohl's. We have a lot of secondary ones that I'm not downplaying, but those are the 3 biggies that stand out. That help make substantial contributions, and that helps us offset the cost, which means we can donate more money to the Special Olympics, which is what it's all about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you being on the show today, and want all of our residents to mark this down Saturday, July 19th. Michael also mentioned a couple other runs, and we'll have them on at a later date, but we have the Veterans Run and the Jingle Bell runs that Mike helps coordinate also. Once again, Michael, on behalf of Special Olympics, thank you very much for all you do. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's always fun to see the kids' eyes.
Yeah,
so.
It's very nice. So we'll be right back with Shelby Township Parks and Rec in the news.
Special thanks to Larry Davis Capital Management for sponsoring one of our Shelby Township Little League teams.
Hello and welcome back to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. Now we have special guest Lauren Oxlade from the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center. Lauren, I see you brought a special guest with you today, and this special guest looks very active. When you first came in, I thought it was a baby skunk, but a little bit better, it's a baby squirrel.
Yes, not as risky as a baby skunk. This is a baby black-faced gray squirrel.
And before the camera started rolling, I was holding the creature, and it bit me. So I'm not sure if I should hold it again. Is it?
Well, he's just starting to use his teeth.
Okay.
He did get his bottom teeth a little bit sooner than his top teeth, but now he has both sets. So now that he has both sets of teeth, he is starting to sort of test things out.
Oh, look at Now, he
that's
didn't break
kind
my
of-
skin.
No,
Should I get a
he's
rabies
just-
shot still?
No.
Okay.
Typically, animals that have rodent teeth,
Yeah.
which are the teeth that continuously grow, so rabbits, squirrels, things like that, they don't typically carry rabies. Usually the animals that you want to be a little more concerned with are your animals that have canine teeth,
Okay.
such as your possums, skunks, raccoons, coyotes, foxes, things like that. He's probably going to jump up on your shoulder. They like to be up high naturally, so
I don't want to jump at my jugular.
no, I hope he
Okay.
wouldn't.
No, he just seems a little skittish.
No, he's at
Good.
the age now where he's going to start exploring and things like that.
Yeah, don't explore too much, buddy.
Oh, he's going to wash his face.
Oh, okay. He has some big claws here. Now, what do they use those for? They dig them for
They're
nuts?
wonderful climbers, and they will dig.
That is true. I see in my backyard climbing like
Yes,
amazing.
they're
you
very
know.
good climbers, and they will use those to bury nuts. The funny thing with squirrels is based on the research I've done and the people that I've talked to, I don't actually think they know where they've buried nuts. I think they just all squirrels bury them all over the place. And
Oh, really?
they will find other nuts that other squirrles have buried.
Oh,
But they
so
will,
they don't go right back to where they buried.
as far as I
buried their
know,
nuts. Yeah.
no.
Okay. Now, once again, what type of squirrel is this?
This is a black-faced gray squirrel, so it is a gray squirrel, even though he is black. The trait that he carries that makes him black is called melanistic. So you will get other variations of animals that will come in this black coloration. Black rat snakes, for example, which are a Michigan native snake, they are a melanistic snake. There are other snakes in that family that come in different colors.
Whoa.
So a mother gray squirrel could have a nest of all black babies. She could have a nest of all gray babies, or a combination of black and gray babies.
I can't believe I was petting a squirrel.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's about 7 to 8 weeks old.
Okay.
So he's got a ways to go before he's ready to be on his own, but he's definitely at the age where he's starting to explore and use his teeth and things like
he's
that.
looking like he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he is still nursing, but he's just recently started on solid food.
Now, where do squirrels live? I see up in the trees in the fall, you can see looks like there's some leaves. Are those squirrel nests?
Yeah, they
Okay.
will make a nest, and they will often have their babies in there in the spring. Different squirrels use different avenues for having their babies. Red squirrels often will use cavity nests. Chipmunks, a smaller species of squirrel, will often have burrows in the ground.
Okay.
Our ground squirrels, a lot of people call them liberty squirrels, they will make burrows in the
Oh, I
ground.
didn't realize
And then woodchucks are actually a species of squirrel. They're Michigan's largest squirrel.
No
So
kidding.
they're obviously ground
Yeah.
dwelling squirrels. And then you have your your fox squirrels, your gray squirrels. They're more of tree dwelling type squirrels.
Now, in my backyard, when I hear squirrels, I hear them making a funny
Mm-hmm.
noise. And I know when the show started, this squirrel was making that funny noise.
Mm-hmm.
What, is that how they communicate?
Typically, it's like an alert. The gray squirrels and the fox squirrels are a bit more of a solitary type squirrel, whereas
Oh, he's
you
biting
have,
me. God.
your 13-line ground squirrels sort of hang out more in groups, whereas these types of squirrels, your tree squirrels, are a little bit more solitary. So they will use that communication to let other squirrels in the area know that there's a predator in the area, there's something that they should be aware of or alarmed of. For example, my cat the other day got into a tree in the neighbor's yard and there was a squirrel in it, and it started calling. A squirrel way off in the neighbor's yard, several doors down, who clearly couldn't see my cat, started calling as well because he heard the other squirrels. So they will
Really?
use it to warn other squirrels in the area that there's something they should be aware of.
I noticed him itching quite a bit. Does he have possibly some type of bug?
He could have fleas.
Thank you for telling me
well-
now.
They're
Andrew, do you have any wipes back
no,
there?
you'll be fine. I don't think he does. I got him at a fairly young age, so I didn't see any. But it's like us, we have, things that irritate our skin and stuff like that.
Okay.
We don't have fleas, so he could just be itching.
Okay,
it's not
we'll go with
impossible that he has
that,
fleas. He probably just has something that's irritating his skin.
Very good.
Same way we get an itch on our head or something like that.
Now, does they type like right now? This stance he's in, he looks like he's ready to pounce right at my face. Is that some type of defense mechanism or something?
I don't think so.
You give me this look.
He seems pretty calm.
Okay.
At this age, he's not as weary as an adult would be, so he hasn't quite learned all the things that an
Okay.
adult squirrel would know. So he's probably just sort of hanging out because he's a little bit more comfortable than he was at first.
Good. Now, Lauren, with you being the assistant naturalist at Burgess Shabush Nature Center, you come across quite a few different baby animals. Do you have any tips
Yes.
for us? What and what not to do with baby animals?
Yeah, this time of year, we do get a lot of people that will bring us baby animals. We are not a licensed rehab facility, so legally we are not allowed to take them, but we can direct people where they can legally take them.
Okay.
The Michigan DNR has a list of licensed rehabilitators on their website. If you go to www.michigandnr.org/DLR.
Okay.
It'll give you a whole list of all of the licensed rehabilitators in Michigan, and they have it broken down by county. And so you can search for someone within your county, and then within that list of people in your county, it will tell you what they specialize in. Some people will
Okay.
only take raptors, some people will only take mammals. Howell Nature Center is often a place where we refer people. It is located in Howell, Michigan, and they have just an extraordinary rehab facility. And I've taken animals to them before. They're absolutely wonderful to deal with. They're a very reputable place. So.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. If somebody comes across an
Yes.
animal in the backyard.
Yep. Howell Nature and Conference Center.
Very good.
Yep, and you should always leave baby animals alone. Often people, baby rabbits, for example. Rabbits are a type of animal that's considered crepuscular.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's probably had enough of the lights.
Okay.
So rabbits are only going to be active at dawn and at dusk. So those are the only times that they're going to feed their young. So they do only feed them and only visit the nest twice a day. So people will often call us and say, there's a rabbit nest in my yard, the mother's abandoned it.
Right.
Chances are she hasn't. You just don't see her, and that's because she doesn't want to be seen. You can sprinkle flour in a ring around the outside of the nest, and if it's disturbed the next day, you know that the mother's visiting the nest. If it's not, you know that it's been abandoned. That's a
Okay.
way that you can
You
check
see
to
some
see.
tracks coming,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a way that you can check to see without disturbing the nest or the
That's a
mother,
great
whether or not
point,
she's still visiting
definitely.
it. Baby birds, they reach a certain age where they're still being cared for by the parents, but they're too big to be in the nest. They're what we call fledglings, so they will fledge the nest. They do have feathers, and they can fly a little bit, but not very well. So they will be out of the nest, and they will look very helpless, but the mother is still nearby, and she is still caring for them. So
Okay.
you really should just always leave baby animals alone, even if it's a baby animal that does, it has been abandoned. Nature has a way of balancing out and working
Yeah.
itself out. So
Okay.
while that baby animal might not survive, it's going
Right.
to probably feed something else that will survive.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lauren, we have quite a few camps coming up
We do.
through the summer. Summer going on right now.
Sure.
Do we have some of the camps coming up that there are any openings left?
We do. We still have quite a few camps left. The camp season just started the second week in June, so we're only on our second camp right now. We still have 2 archery camps that have openings. We have Littles Camp, Critter and Bug Camp, Craft Camp 1, and Craft Camp 2. Those all have openings in them, some more than others. Junior Explorers has filled, but we are taking people on the wait list.
Okay.
You can get more information about those camps as far as fees.
Sure.
Our camps are very reasonably priced, anywhere from $25 to $50 for anywhere from a 3-day to a 5-day camp, which is very reasonable.
And where's the best place to find additional information on the camps?
You can call the Nature Center. You can visit the Shelby Township Parks and Rec website. I believe that's shelbytwp.org.
Correct.
You can go along the top. Once you go to that website, you go along the top to departments, scroll down to Parks and Recreation, and then you can visit the online version of the newsletter. You can also call the Parks and Rec office, which is located at 24 in Van Dyke, and they can direct you as well.
Very good. Well, Lauren, we appreciate you being on the show and
Sure.
bringing this nice little
Yeah. A little bit fluffier
critter
than
with you today.
the things we usually see.
I've never realized the squirrel could actually be this friendly, besides biting me once or twice.
Right. He will eventually develop a fear, hopefully a fear of people.
Yeah, that probably would be good to help him out.
Yes. So
outdoors.
when he gets a little bit older, I will stop interacting with him so
Yeah.
that he develops a fear of humans. We don't want them to think humans are a source of food or comfort or anything like that. So eventually, in the next week or two, I will try to stop interacting with him as much as possible.
Yeah.
So he develops his fear of humans again.
Yeah, definitely.
But right now he doesn't know any better.
No, that's for sure. Well, thank you very much, Lauren. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
To all of our Shelby residents out there, we really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about any of our programs, give us a call at 731-0300 or shoot us an email or check out our website for any additional information. So until next time, please remember, here at Shelby Parks and Rec, we create community through people, parks, and programs. Thanks for watching.